Hello and welcome. I'm Raziel, and so look, I came across this article today because I was trying to think of something to talk about. And Old World Almanac, I read this, and it doesn't usually spark my imagination. I'm not a big fan of reading interviews. I have so little interest in the creators of the things I enjoy. I separate the art from the artist. I like the models. I'm not so bothered about the creators unless they do something completely egregious. Then yeah, then I'll probably drop it. But this actually got me worrying because I try my best to divide art from the artist in all things: video games, comics, books, anything. It's like I will name loads of songs and bands I like, but I would probably never, and I've been fans of these bands for long periods of time as well, but I'll be hard pushed to tell you who the guitarist is, who the lead singer is. Same with comic books. I'll read like Batman or Green Lantern or Darkness or Spawn, and I'll read this particular arc, but I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about the creator of it because, yeah, my main focus is on the actual thing that's been created. Like with Spawn, I love Spawn and I read Spawn, but as for Todd McFarlane, I don't know him from anyone else. I could probably bump into him in the street and I wouldn't even register who I just bumped into or spoke to. It wouldn't. And if he said, "Oh, I'm Todd McFarlane, I create Spawn," I went, "Oh, thanks for a great comic." I wouldn't. I don't get starstruck. It doesn't bother me. Same with I've met celebrities. I've worked in security. I've met celebrities, and I never bother about this starstruck. It doesn't bother me. They're just people at the end of the day. But this interview actually got me pause for thought and made me reconsider what the old world actually means to Games Workshop. And I don't think it means very much. See, the old world, we've known about this for years now, okay? They have been doing this massive, massive run-up to it. It wasn't just suddenly dropped on us, like Legionis Imperialis was. We had like, hey, we're bringing back Epic, and it comes a few months later. This had a long run-up to this. We got, hey, what do you think of this? The old world's coming back. Woohoo! Great. And then we got sneak, sneak, sneak. Oh, we'll be bringing back metal as well. Metal miniatures. Hey! Okay, I'm not excited about metal miniatures. Don't get me wrong. They are a pain in the ass to build. I'm probably going to avoid them. Like I said, I'm not a fan. But yeah, so there's been years of a run up to the old world. So this statement within this interview has no excuse. And honestly, to me, this kind of shows the level of interest the higher ups, the big people in Games Workshop actually think about minimally the old world. Overall, maybe the entire franchise, all of them. And it is just it's a couple of sentences. You can probably see it on your screen now. And it worried me when I read this because it means so much more than it's what they're saying. Okay? So, here we go. I'll read the whole thing, but I'll read the second thing afterwards twice, and I'll highlight it anyway. With slightly limited resources, we ended up targeting the Marauder Giant for a painting treatment. You're purling on the nostalgia element, but we're painting to modern standards. Okay, the actual model looks pretty cool to the old heavy metal standards and techniques, so we had to make it relatable to the newer generation of hobbyists. Why? You're hitting nostalgia. Honouring the original miniature, we consciously ended up referencing the classic collar scheme using modern techniques. It's such a miniature of itself that it can hold its own on the field without having to be tied completely to the rest of the faction. There's a good percentage of the heavy metal team who have never built metal models before, so we had to teach people how to pin arms as they'd never done it before. There, that statement there. That one couple of lines, I might be looking too much into this, worries me. If this was suddenly dropped and they didn't have any form of run-up, they didn't have any form of knowledge coming to this, where they couldn't actually get people working on this prior so they can have practice, and then all of a sudden say, yeah, by the way, a lot of the people building this, people that we consider the best in the company, best of the best in the community, because heavy metal is meant to be the top tier of painting. Okay, professionally, I do know there's a lot of better painters out there, and don't get me wrong. To say that they didn't practice while they were announcing this release worries me. I don't know if it's meant to be like they're humbling themselves. Yes, us at Heavy Metal, we didn't know how to pin metal arms. Oh, we had to learn for you. No, it sounds conceited that way. It sounds dishonest. This saying that they've never done it before, when they had so much time to practice, they knew what the factions were. We known that for what was it, over a year now. No, last summer that came out. For 6 months they knew this. It's like, okay, orcs and goblins, what do they have? They have giants. Will we be making metal giants? We might do. Let's get practicing on that. You know? Let's learn how to do this stuff so we can practice. But don't announce you're practicing it. You know, don't say, oh, we're so humble here. Many didn't know how to do it. You're better than us. You know what to do. We did not. Okay? It's such a disingenuous thing to say. There was no need for it in this entire interview. It's like I said, this bothers me because it shows so little love towards the old world that they didn't even bother practicing it. They didn't even bother practicing these old techniques, which would be reliant on a nostalgic game. It's like if like Konami came out with when they came out with Castlevania. Our game testers had to learn how to play old 2D style retro games again because they didn't play any before. They've only played our 3D ones. You'd be like going, wait, what? Why weren't your game testers testing out 2Ds beforehand? Why wouldn't you get them to get control of basic controls of a 2D controller at that point to see if it works? It's the same principle here. If you are going nostalgic, you need people to be able to work with older styles. You need people to know how to build these models before you announce these models. You don't announce the models at the same time announcing that they couldn't do it and they need to be taught how to do it when you're the best, meant to be the best of the best. It is such a silly thing to do. And yes, some of these are really hard to pin. Don't get me wrong, pinning's a pain in the ass. It really is. And I'm sorry for this rant, but it's kind of bothering me. See, this is one of the models being released for made to order. Now, I've got an entire bone to pick with this made to order as well, because this is becoming a rant video apparently, because it's really started to annoy me. And yeah, you have to pin something here, here. So basically this neck joint and body joint are like 4 to 5 different parts where it's just one long piece. And you will have to pin. And then it is a pain in the ass to pin. It's a nice looking model, don't get me wrong. I love this old classic orc look. I think it looks cool. But pinning it will be a pain. But I know how to pin this. I've never built this model, but I know exactly how to pin this model. I have the tools and stuff. I haven't pinned in over 15 years. The last model I pinned was... Oh, it was a Space Marine. It was a Space Marine Commander. I can't remember which one. I think it was for Dark Angels. It was a pain in the ass to do, but I know how to do it. And it's a good thing to practice anyway, even on your plastic miniatures. If you want to swap your models and arms around on your Space Marines, pinning is a good thing to do. Not magnetizing, but pinning because you have a better fit. And you can just move them off and, you know, you're not dealing with magnets, you're just dealing with little bits of metal and rod, and you can move them on and off. That's just my opinion, okay? But yeah, pinning's a pain in the butt. Don't get me wrong. And pinning something like the Giant, where is it? There he is. Again, it's a big pain in the ass. Because not only you got to pin the arms here, you got to pin the back to the front, and you got to pin the legs as well, and you got to pin this. It is a big job for anyone. I'm not denying that. But I'm not a professional modeler. Most people watching this aren't going to be professional modelers. We aren't paid to pin and paint. We're not paid to know how to do this stuff. You don't, like if you would take a cabinet or something to a carpenter to be fixed, and they go, yeah, this is an old one, but I don't quite know how to fix it. I have to learn it first, and then I can do it. You wouldn't be going back to them. You wouldn't be going back to them for that reason, because you expected them to be an expert in their field. Heavy metal are meant to be experts in their field, and when they admit they can't do something very difficult, is a basic premise of modelling in general. Pinning's been about forever, and it always will be about. Because you can pin plastic, resin. Well, resin doesn't really need pinning anymore, but there are still metal models around. They haven't died. Games Workshop still do metal models. They do. And that's the worst about it. Let's see if it's still up there. I hope he is. There you go. Ezekiel. That's still a metal model. He is. So it's not like they're not selling metal models. There you go. This blister contains one metal Ezekiel. He's metal. And when every metal, the experts in the field say they don't know how to pin, but still sell metal models. And yeah, you do actually pretty much have to pin that bloody sword on. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a big mistake. I mean, the trolls look good. All these models being announced and made to order look good. They look fun. They hit that nostalgic point. They do. But it looks like they're putting the newbies onto the old world when they should be putting on people who know what they're doing. People, if they don't know how to pin, they shouldn't be dealing with metal. When you work in any form of company and you want to train people up, you would put them on what they know, and you gradually put them into where they can be better. You don't just throw them in the deep end and say, do this metal model. I don't know how to pin. Oh, great, now we have to train. Because now you're holding up two people for the same job. Whereas if you put them in somewhere they know, and you can actually, sort of integrate what they don't know into their job, and this works in factories. I've seen this a lot, where they'll put new people on the basic line, and they'll slowly move them up to more advanced things. And yeah, factory work does have different varieties of advancement. It's kind of weird, depends on your factory, from packing to pallet shifting. All of it has different aspects and different levels of difficulty. But same with any job, you integrate slowly what they can't do, and you do it in a way that they can learn quickly. But you're not holding up two people to do one job. But yeah, anyway. Now the final point of this made to order, which really bugs me, and I'll have to go all the way to the top here, I believe it is. Yeah, here it is. Warhammer, the pre-order this weekend. Sorry, let's start here. The Old World is mustering for pre-order this weekend. It's a true WoW, classic miniatures from the world of legend, arriving in plastic metal. Alright. Still, they announced here on the made to order that they don't know how to pin, but they are dropping metal models anyway, forged resin. But believe it or not, they're not the only old school returnees. Shortly after the main range drops, a curated selection of the most fantastic miniatures from the 80s and 90s will be available for a short time on a made-to-order basis. Okay, and what's my problem with that? When? When are you going to drop them? This would have been the perfect time to tell us when this made-to-order is going to be announced. By the way, it doesn't take much. They're going to be made to order, let's say, April 22nd. Okay? Fine. Okay? That means people can prepare, and whether or not they can say, can they do it? Can they afford it? Do they want it? So many different aspects to suddenly say, yeah, these are going to be only available. You can only order these for the next 2 weeks. That's it. People don't like that. As so many complaints about made to order is the short time frame in which you can order them, and the short time from when they're announced. You get a week to be told that they're going. Well, 2 weeks now. It might be. I don't know if it'll be different for made to order, but you get a week to 2 weeks before they're announced, and then you get 2 weeks to order it. That's not enough time to know whether or not you want it. It is such this very hard sell of models. It's very much a hard sell, and it's very bad. I don't like this. It's sort of like saying, you have to order now. You have to buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now. And if you don't buy it now, it's gone forever. This whole FOMO around made to order is such a bad thing, and I don't like it. I will never like it. I don't like this idea of limited editions, special editions. But I understand when you want to bring back old models, they have to be made to order. They have to be done. But when you're given such a short time frame for it, it makes you look bad, because it makes it like you're doing a very hard sell for it. And it's not just okay. If you do this, no. And let me be clear. If you do the short time frame, 2 weeks for the made to order, okay, fine. But give people enough time beforehand to be ready for it. Not the week before, not 2 weeks before, about a month and a half beforehand, and just remind them about 2 weeks later. Every 2 weeks, don't forget, this is coming to made to order. And then the 2 weeks or a week beforehand, say, don't forget, coming made to order. So people can be sure they want it. And you will sell more too. People will go, actually, I've got this, I can afford this, I do want this, and they're ready for it. To go, hey, next week, made to order, you've got 2 weeks to order, people go like, what? It's bad. It feels like a hard sell in the worst way possible. And this is probably the worst article I've read on Games Workshop. It's because it shows so many wrong things within Games Workshop, which are probably hidden. One, the heavy metal team isn't up to the standard of your average old bid in skill of making a model. That's heavy metal. That's the best of the best. The experts of Games Workshop, modelling skills are lacking. They admit their modelling skills are lacking. They don't give you enough time for a made to order, or just basically they should have given us a date. And I guarantee it's probably going to be a week before the actual made to order drops. We'll get it in a pre-order preview, like always, and they'll be like, yep, next week, made to order, you have 2 weeks. And I know a lot of people are starting to get disgusted with Games Workshop. I didn't want this to be a rant video. I actually had a different plan for a video today. I wanted to talk about the models, but reading through this article, and I rarely read the articles because I don't care enough about the creators. I only care about the end product, which is why I talk about the ones I enjoy. I talk about the armies I enjoy, and I don't really get that excited when I hear about the authors or anything like that. I separate the art from the artist, so I'm not that interested in this, in the interview itself, but I thought I'd read it and see what I could talk about. And it does show this is probably the worst article Games Workshop has ever written. So yeah, I mean the models look good, they're well painted, as always, but they're not actually. Given the modern paints, by the way, this wouldn't be too difficult to paint. I wouldn't suffer with this one. I wouldn't say that was too difficult. And why are they all white? They're usually red. They should be red boils because they look ugly. Get best of the best, my foot. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. A bit of a rant video, and it does look like Games Workshop don't care about the old world anymore. They aren't even putting their best team on it anymore. So yeah, sorry, it's another long video. I'm doing a lot of long videos lately. I don't mean to. I'm going to shut up now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Link to Whaling Games down below, as always, up to 20% off your Warhammer, and free delivery after £20. There is also Forbidden Planet for comics. That always sounds dirty. It is a comic shop. It is not an adult store. So people who went there and, oh no. No, it's a comic shop. Comics, DVDs, manga, all the cool stuff. Plushies, toys, cool stuff. And finally there is my merchandise, t-shirts, cups, laptop stickers and my own comics. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry it was ranty today, and I'll see you all tomorrow, and you have a great day. 2 videos tomorrow, by the way.